What's up, people? You already know what it is. It's the Angry Taz Show. Live from the shop, right here in the heart of North Philly. And we about to do for the next 45 minutes. Talk our shit, talk that sports shit, and basically update you on what's going on in the sports world. And we might throw in a little bit of, some little angry talk because something has peeved me, something is on my mind. So without further ado, let me get right into it. We had the Eagles training camp spiced up yesterday, man, with the scrimmage against the Patriots. Most of you, I'm sure, have seen the footages that are out by now, and it's sad, man. It's sad because at the end of the day, you got some of these guys and these reporters already doing the dumb shit, reporting like it's the biggest game of the season, or this is the most important practice to ever. Like, it's just basic preseason practice. It's preseason practice that no one at this stage of the NFL football season should get hyped over. It's just a bunch of guys getting reps in, getting their bodies built up, getting the strength back to try to be able to go 18 games this season. Nothing more, nothing less. Working on packages that they may or may not use during the season. So you can take this shit with a grain of salt. But yet still, again, the rage baiters that they are, the Philadelphia media, and I've been thinking about this all yesterday, the rage baiters that they are, which they already got me, they rage bait me every time because I can't stand it. It's someone has to speak out on it. Because it's asinine. It's like they do clickbait shit. Like the whole day yesterday, you're showing a clip because you ball bite AJ so much. And it's crazy. When the dude was here, the media was roasting him like it was a barbecue chicken. But now he's gone. He's the Messiah. Like it's like they play this reverse psychology game. And they shouldn't even be covering these teams for this shit. I mean, we want honest opinions. We want honest and basically accurate information on the team being put out, which these media members are capable of with the inside access they have. But they choose the other route, which again, like I said, the clip that they showed yesterday with AJ catching these balls, he caught one ball over the middle across that would have been a touchdown, but we don't know if the quarterback could have been sacked on the play because they didn't show you that part. This is the dumb shit. But instead of reporting that and accurately giving this type of information to the fans, they want us dumbed down. They want us dumb. And unfortunately, some fans, because you have a lot of new football fans and new Eagle fans, they fall for the shit. Oh, the Eagles look bad. How? Nobody looks bad at this point. Everybody can win the Super Bowl at this point. You really don't know who's who until after week 5 in the season if you're an astute football fan who watches the game. And yeah, I play fantasy football, but I play fantasy football and I leave it where it is. Fantasy football. Fantasy football on the computer. I don't take that in my analysis and watch these games and look at it from that standpoint. Because it just doesn't make sense. But again, if we're going by what they showed yesterday, Quinyon locked AJ down. I could just say that because one of the clips they showed where Quinyon batted the ball out of his hand. Then the other clip that was shown, he wouldn't have been in bounds. 1 foot out of bounds, 1 foot in on Jacorian Bennett. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, it's insane. And then you have media members who have their picks. Some like the Phillies because of whatever. Some like the Sixers more there. Some like the Flyers. Some like the Eagles more. Well, we all like the Eagles because that's the universal language in Philadelphia. But again, like I said, you can't have media in this city reporting like this because you miseducate and you misinform fans and you have panic buttons being pushed that shouldn't be pushed. Did they also mention that the run game yesterday was explosive against the Patriots? They also mentioned that the offensive line was beating that Patriots defensive line up. See, we don't on the Angry Taz Show, we don't watch half the picture. We watch the whole picture, even if it's not favorable to my team. Which at that point you'll hear me go on my angry rants and cuss the team the fuck out. But that's what I do. But while we're moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, the Slim Reaper was back in the fold yesterday, and I'm looking forward to a great season with him, man. While people have been focusing on the loss of AJ and how we're going to be replaced, I'm looking at the Slim Reaper as the perfect replacement, man. He was the #1 receiver before AJ got here. People tend to forget his rookie season. He put up, I think he broke the Eagles' single season record for most catches in a single season. I mean, what more do you want? And he's not a diva. He's not a diva. They asked him, had he spoken to AJ, he said simply no, and dropped it. He didn't give the media a chance to raise bait or get him into a situation where he's talking and the focus becomes more on his conversations or non-conversations with AJ instead of football. He put them motherfuckers right back in their place and let them go right back to football. And I'm expecting big things from the Slim Reaper this year. And again, I'll tie that in. For those fantasy football players like myself, you should have him on your draft board. You should have him on your draft boards because the roadblock that was A.J. Brown is no longer there. And he's going to be able to play free. He's not going to bitch if he gets 1 ball or 10 balls. He only cares about what truly matters, and that's the W, the win. But again, like, share, subscribe on the at Angry Taz Talk Through Experience. At Talk Through Experience 4247 on YouTube. Also, you can catch me live on Facebook, which I'm live right now from the shop, located at 18th and Dolphin. And again, I got to throw this in there. Come by, stop by, get your hair cut. Give a new barber a new shot. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed. Again, show your support and your love to the Angry Taz Show by, again, like, sharing, subscribing on the YouTube at Talk Through Experience 4247. Also, catching me live on my Facebook at Angry Taz Johnson. Also on your Twitch page as well. Or if you have a Twitch page, shoot over and look for Angry Taz or the Angry Taz Show. Also, I'm streaming now, ladies and gentlemen. I have been streaming now. I'm also on Apple Podcasts, also on Spotify. You can catch me on right on there, and rewind some of the old shows and check me out. Again, but back to what I was saying about this Eagles receiving core and Devontae Smith. I really think Smitty is due for a breakout year this year, man. Well, not more so a breakout, but another successful year. And dare I say, my wild card is Elijah Moore. The guy we got from Buffalo was an intricate part. Well, I wouldn't say intricate part because he's no longer there, but he was a part of Buffalo's offense. Last year got a chance to play with Josh Allen. Now he has a chance to play with another all-star quarterback in Jalen Hurts. And from what I'm reading and seeing from the clips and also doing my own research from other trusted podcasts that talk the same way I talk as far as accuracy and as far as reporting on the Eagles, like the Philly Mikes, shout out to the Philly Mikes, and also the Lord Brunson, shout out to him. But again, when you hear what they're reporting about the receiving core, and in particular Elijah Moore, this cat is when he's in the lineup, he's a difference maker. He's a difference maker from the slot. Yesterday he caught a great ball from Jalen Hurts over the middle, a deep ball, which Jalen Hurts has one of the best deep balls in the game, as said by most of the haters that don't want to say shit good about him. But again, I think the receiving core is definitely going to survive and put up better numbers collectively than AJ will have all season. There I said it. And you want to challenge me, leave a comment, again, in the comment section and let me know why you feel differently. But again, AJ will not have more numbers across the board, yardage-wise or receiving touchdowns-wise, than our receiving core as a whole. As a whole. Understand that. As a whole. Because Jalen's going to distribute that ball. He's going to distribute that ball. He's going to distribute that ball, and I feel like that the receiving core is going to knock it out the park this year. And speaking of knocking out the park, gotta get to the Phillies. Gotta get to the Phillies. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm known for my angry rants, and they have been the victim of it. They have been the victim of my angry rants throughout the season and just as recently as last week. But for somehow, for some way, somehow, this week they have avoided my fire and my passion of anger towards them. They have been playing great baseball, ladies and gentlemen. A 5-game winning streak right now. Even though the bullpen is still shit, the bullpen is still ass. You still gotta bite your fingernails. Shit, I remember when we only had one guy. Shout out to Mitch Williams, the wild thing, that we had to worry about. Now we got 4 guys until we get to Duran that we have to put our heads in our hats and pray and hope they get 3 outs during that inning. But other than that, the team is hitting the cover off the ball. They're doing what's necessary. They're moving runners over. They're playing small ball. They're playing baseball the right way, as it should be played during this time of the year. Where you got to forget the home run because the weather is changing. Even though it's been hot, when September and October rolls around, not just going to be knocking the ball out of the park because the wind going to knock that shit down. As soon as it hit the air, it's going to die. Then you got these cold weather games. That's because we're in cold weather city. That's potentially ready to happen. You have to be able to play small ball. You have to be able to single, double, and triple your way to runs every night, especially in the playoffs. Because you're not facing the dog and pony show of pitches with your night in and night out. You're facing the best of the best. Another opposing team's top 3. And if you can't go out there and put together hit, and we've seen it year in and year out with this team, you're not going nowhere but the Cancun. One-way ticket. One-way ticket. But again, the team is playing solid baseball. Alec Bohm, dare I say, is playing solid baseball. Trey Turner, dare I say, is playing solid baseball. Luis Arias addition has done wonders for this team. It's like they changed the whole hitting approach. Like their hitting approach is something of a miracle. I don't know what it is, but I would love for this team to keep it going, keep rolling through October. Like I said, make the wild card and be one of those teams that can knock off the Dodgers, that can upset some cities' plans of a parade. I'm just looking forward to this team continuing to play solid baseball. And here's the kicker. And I wasn't going to mention it, but I got to. 5.5 games out of first place with the Atlanta Braves. 5.5 games out of the Atlanta Braves. 5.5 games out of the Atlanta Braves. Yep, I had to get my Umar on. Yes, 5.5 games out, which is phenomenal from where they were, which was damn near 13 double digits lead by the Braves. So they're clawing their way back into that discussion, but meanwhile maintaining the wild card. And I got to give a big shout out to them, man. And in fact, y'all got me thinking about buying some playoff tickets. You might earn my trust back. Like I said, on some build you up to let me down shit, but it's what we go through as a Philadelphia fan. What can I say? It's in my veins. But again, ladies and gentlemen, shouts to the Phillies. They're doing their thing. And before I forget, I must say that the manager that of discussion, Alice Cora, that they're right now discussing who they might bring on board. If I'm the Phillies, I'm leaving well enough alone. I'm not even, if the guy turned the job down, why would you even go back at him for a second try? If you didn't want to do it this year, what makes you think his motivation is going to be higher to do it next year? What changed from you getting fired and still wanting to manage to being hired or potentially being hired by Philadelphia, and that's having to pivot to Donnie Baseball with Don Madden? So if that's what truly went down, which is being reported, then I'm staying away from Alex Cora, and I'm sticking with Donnie Baseball, and I'm allowing him to just basically manage this team until we're ready to transition to the rebuild. Because unfortunately, these guys are getting old, and it's going to be time to turn the team over to guys like Crawford and guys like my man that's hurt right now, Aiden Miller, and guys like that, and the young pitching core with in his prime, Sanchez, Luzardo, and then you're bringing up Gage Wood, guys like that. It's going to be eventually time to do that. So you have to stick I'm believing that sticking with Manley, he gets a chance to kind of see Crawford through right now, which in his young career, he's going to need a manager that has experience, that's going to be able to teach him, you know, the ways of a professional, and not you know, allow him to creep in those bad habits. Because let's face it, man, if you get a young player and you don't teach him early, there's a chance that he's going to be ruined by the time he reaches his prime, and he'll never reach his fullest potential. Hence, going right into the Sixers. You hear AI say it all the time, even though he's, in my eyes, one of the greatest Sixers to ever lace him. If he had truly listened to Larry Brown, there's no telling. We've been talking about him up there with the realms of Mike, even though he's still up there, as far as I'm concerned, in the realms of the conversation with Mike, Kobe, and the rest of those cats. But, again, he said it himself. The man said it in plenty of interviews. Had he truly embraced Larry Brown's philosophies of playing the right way and really took in that basketball knowledge, there's no telling how much more he could have accomplished in his career. But, being as though that's being said, shout out to AI, he's still a Hall of Famer. He's still Philadelphia's favorite son and Philadelphia's favorite basketball player. The best one to do it in my book, again, like I said. Yeah, speaking of the Sixers, I got to talk about it. The videos are out there. We see King James, we see Tyrese, we see Jaylen Brown. We see them working out. We see them doing their thing. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to say this right now. All the talk about the chemistry and all that shit, it's all talk. It's all bullshit, because the chemistry is being established right now. And like I told you in previous episodes, and I'll harp on it until I can't harp on it no more. You build team chemistry in the offseason. You build team chemistry by being around each other and really getting to know each other on and off the basketball court, or on and off the court, or whatever you play. You build that chemistry. Because, like I said, when you have an appreciation, or you know the person that you're playing next to, you tend to go 10 times harder. Tend to not want to let your brother, or in this case, because women playing sports too, your sister down in those moments when you go into battle, when you're trying not to lose, when you're playing for something. So when I see pictures like that, what I'm seeing is LeBron bringing over, and yes, that's not to say these guys didn't have it before, but having that voice, where Tyrese Maxey had that voice, didn't have that voice where he was showing in action. But that voice and in action is able to get an MD or a Jaylen Brown's attention. So where they like, you know what? Let's work out together. Let's plan these trips. So right when we get to training camp, we're not coming in new knowing what we are, knowing our capabilities, knowing our strengths and weaknesses, what we like in this certain set. We've already discussed certain actions we want to do and use where focuses on and highlights our strengths. We already know how we want to play defense off of each other and how we want to cover for each other defensively. Because I know what you're thinking on this play, and I'm thinking. All this is being established right now. All this being established right now. And if you disagree with me, you have to tell me why. Because I'm going to come back on the show, I'm going to shout your name out, and I'm going to answer you. I'm going to rebuttal you. So if you disagree with what I'm saying, especially in regards to LeBron, and how he's molding and putting his imprint on his team just by what he does in the offseason. And dare I say, he shares some of those tips and secrets with Embiid, Maxey, and the rest of these guys about how to keep your body in tone. About, because I believe NBA players spend money to keep themselves in shape. The smart ones do. But I'm just saying, on how to spend and who to go to. See, these are the important things that you have to get from guys like LeBron, the Jordans, and the Kobes of the world. The inner secrets that they don't give out that gives them the competitive edge when they go out on their court night in and night out. It also works in real life too, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you're in business, whether you're in just any everyday activity. It's always competition. It's always competition. Always competition. And speaking of competitiveness, competitive spirit. I like to shout out, again, I always go back to this. I got to shout out a lot of the guys from back in the day who really, and this is what I'm going to get into, I want to talk about, because I'll be remiss if I didn't talk about the old hood, and what the impact of sports and basketball, which we just got off of professional basketball, in our neighborhood. And I got to thinking about it, and the guys that participated in it, and how it molded them and shaped them in their later on careers in life. And I also thought about the things of the entrepreneurial shit that it kind of was teaching us back then. When you had people like, you know, Fat Dad, and that's not a derogatory term, because that's what she was known by in the hood, with her stands that she had, the candy, the water ice, the cheese pretzels, you know what I'm saying, which is a Philly staple. But guess what? In the hood, that was the Fat Dad cheese pretzel was a staple. You know what I'm saying? The entrepreneurial shit, the No-No burger, the Uncle No-No burger, that, you know, those guys used to come out there and we would patronize them. Do you imagine and think about how much the black dollar was being spent on black people back in those days? And all this was brought upon by sports, by basketball, by captivating not only that neighborhood, but a city. And this needs to be brought back, and I'm a harp on it. I mean, I know it's some leagues out here, and you keep doing your thing. You know what I mean? They're out here, and they're shining. You got the older gentleman leagues. And I would like to interview some of those guys, you know, so y'all can promote them, so y'all can get that word out. And you can come on the show, and like I said, we talk. This is real talk. This ain't no bullshit. It's unscripted, and we promote you know, positivity, and especially when it comes to the community I grew up in, trying to give back and trying to, you know, see stuff like that. And I'm a sportsman, so that's near and dear. Like, we need that, especially for our youth. We got to catch them early. Catch them early, like y'all did us. Like the Toddies, the Generals, who I remember these guys. You know what I'm saying? The Kurt Reeds. I remember these guys. You know what I'm saying? These guys were like our neighborhood heroes. The Unks, even though he don't like to be mentioned. But yes, his entrepreneurial shit, his words of wisdom, the term young bull, and really having your young bull back. All this was brought about because we were able to meet on 15th and Susquehanna. And we had one common thing in common. Basketball, sports, competitive spirit. And yeah, I'm mentioning these guys because one day they're going to grace me and bless me with you know, coming on the show and letting us know what they're about nowadays. And I'm sure it's something positive and they're doing and giving back to the community. But again, like I said, this is needed. It's wanted. It's wanted. And until it's done, I'm going to keep mentioning it, I'm keep saying it, I'm keep being an advocate for it. Again, this is a show for the people, by the people. You know what I'm saying? Sports-based, but we also talk life shit on here too. And again, we coming back again Tuesday, y'all. Gonna have my man on here, Rob, the military brother, my brother in arms, and we're gonna keep giving y'all these soldier stories. And also educating our fellow comrades in arms that are not doing too well out here, that haven't been fed the information, that don't have the outlets where they can get the information, where they can also prosper like us, because they served and they gave their life and they showed the courage, you know, to go out there and serve this country. And a lot of y'all might not think that's a big deal, but guess what? The reason why you're able to walk through these streets freely and ain't nobody from Al-Qaeda bombing your ass. And there ain't no street heat. That's some international heat for your ass. So every now and again, think about them veterans, man. Pull one to the side, show them some love. Even if they hurt, you know what I mean? You might not want to, you know, you ain't got to embrace them with no cash flow, but embrace them with a word of encouragement. It's well needed. But with that being said, I'm going to get on out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the respect that's given by the old heads who tune in. Appreciate your comments. whether you agree or disagree, keep them coming. We appreciate the participation. And again, like I always say, show love to somebody that show love to you. Holla at your boy. It's been real. 1.